guys, good morning, welcome back to the channel. Hope we're all doing well. Now, I did actually want to do this video a little bit earlier. I'm now obviously back in Dubai, and that is the cat in the background, if you can hear it. She's gotten very, very needy since he's been away. But like I said, I've been, ideally I wanted to get this video filmed a little bit earlier for you guys, because I had a few deload days, or rest days. But I totally lost my voice, which was good fun. It decided that it was just gonna pack it in. I think it was the day that I flew, which was Monday. Oh my god, what is wrong with you? She's just obsessed with me since we've been back. I think she literally has like separation anxiety. Don't you? Yes, you do. No voice Monday. So I had a very good opportunity to practice my charades throughout the whole plane journey. It was not very fun, let me put it that way. My girls, clients, bless them, very, very understanding, patient with me. Had to type out like all my responses because I just couldn't speak. Okay, done with them. So that's only just about come back around properly, or I feel like properly anyway today. So like I said, we are now back in Dubai. The travel was pretty straightforward. I got a coach from Bath to Heathrow, and then flew from Heathrow to Dubai. So it's like a 2-hour journey in the morning. Stop over at the airport for a few hours, because trust me, I did not want to be pushing it on time. And I have like a fear of like missing my flight. So got there nice and early, and then it was a few hours wait for the plane, 7-hour plane journey, and then literally like 15 minutes from where we're staying. So back into routine. Like I said, I have had 3 full days off. So travel day, Tuesday, Wednesday, today is Thursday. So today is the first training day back that we have. It's legs, obviously. And I'm going to get the day started. So I feel like I'm doing pretty well, given that I haven't had a coffee yet. I have to, well, this is first port of call. And then I'm going to get stuck into check-ins so I can get those out to the girls nice and early. And then we are training back into our normal routine, which, you know what, is so nice. I've been training all over the place the past 2.5 weeks, because I've been trying to fit in sessions with girls, and that has meant that my sessions have been like a bit upside down. So it'd be good to sort of get a bit more of a consistent role in things. Obviously, recovery has definitely been the forefront of my mind recently, because I've been feeling not too great, like obviously my voice being gone. I didn't actually feel too bad on myself, but excuse me, that's my coffee. But yeah, I definitely just felt like I could have slept for ages and ages and ages, because I was already very much pushing my luck, needing a deload like 3 weeks ago, like before I'd actually gone to the UK, but I wasn't going to take those rest days because I wanted to train with clients. So yeah, it's definitely needed now. So I'm going to take my few fasted subs, and I also got these new coffee capsules, espresso pods, Virtuo, Colombia, and Furtado. So we are going to give, I think, Colombia a go. Put these away. I haven't actually had these before. Have we? No. I'm actually going to use one of these like big mugs. Usually I use these ones. However, this is like one of them like bigger pods, and I'm low-key scared that it's actually going to overflow in this mug, because this has happened like 3 times to me now at other places. So we're not going to take that risk again. Oh, that's glorious. Look at that liquid gold. Walk is done. Boxed off about 4,500 steps. Literally just had my meal 1, and I'm just going to have my apple cider vinegar now, which I will dilute. You do have to dilute your apple cider vinegar, otherwise it's not very good for your teeth. So I've just got some new creatine, because I had to leave like all of my supplements practically at home, and then just have to buy new ones now that I'm out here, because I just had no more weight left in my case, like after really nothing at all. Like Mark wanted me to take a couple things back for him, and I think all in all I just ended up with like 0 room. It was soul destroying to have to try and get my case down to 25 kilo from like 28. It was just a nightmare. So I had to leave all of my supplements behind. So we're just gonna have to buy all new supplements now. But in any case, creatine came in this very odd foil bag. Don't really know why, but it like obviously it came sealed. So this was like sealed. I took like, you know, the peely thing that you have off of it, but it's just in a foil bag with the little beads and the scoop at the bottom. So make it make sense. Not really sure why that is, but I feel like now I'm just gonna have an absolute mare just trying to pour this foil bag into the actual pot. Maybe I'll just cut this and put it back in. That's probably easier and less messy, isn't it? Right, we'll go with that. Right, now I think I have actually fucked it now, to be honest. I'm gonna put my creatine, just 5 grams, into my apple cider vinegar, because I've just been getting the habit of using it with this, just because I remember to do it. And creatine, by the way, it's not just for the physical benefits, it also has cognitive benefits too. So just pop it in first thing in the morning, put some water into this. Probably need a little bit more water than that. I will admit, I am a terrible vlogger. I think I last picked up the camera like 2 days ago, which was the first session back that I'd had after my little deload. That actually ended up being upper, so I totally lied about it being lower. I did my normal sort of session, although I did forget my logbook, which I always do after I put it away after a trip. I always forget to put it back in my bag, but look, it's not the end of the world. Literally just went in. It wasn't going to be like a full-on session anyway. Well, I intended it for it not to be, but obviously I probably ended up pushing it a bit harder than what I had initially anticipated. But just to round up the session, did a machine lateral raise, I did Smith machine press, I did a cable cuffed lateral raise, then I went on to like a lat focused row variation, and then I finished actually a bit naughty because I wasn't supposed to be doing legs, but I saw on my sheets that I'd kind of got that a little bit wrong, so I thought I was training legs, but I wasn't training legs, and I was just like, you know what, probably should be smart about this. I'm gonna leave it a day longer to get a really solid night's sleep before actually going for a proper leg day. So I just made sure that I was being wise, let's put it that way. But I finished off with some hip thrusts, which I have no regrets about. So I didn't record the whole session because I forgot my tripod along with my logbook. Always is the way when everything's packed away, and usually everything is in my gym bag. So it's not like, usually I don't have to think about what's in my gym bag because everything is usually in there, but it was all packed away in my suitcase or elsewhere. I am actually in a bikini now because I'm gonna go and sit by the pool for half hour because it's like 1 o'clock, so I just wanna make the most of the sunshine. And I'm gonna write out a few like captions for my socials over the next while. So that's gonna be a little bit of work that I'm gonna do by the pool. Come back up. I've got a setup to do for one of my girls who is starting back with me after she comes back from holiday, which is France. I'm gonna get her plans all sort of put together and make sure that they're ready to go in a few days' time for when she's back from her travels, because I'm sure she's enjoying some sunshine as well. And then this afternoon, I have a call with a guy who's going to help me with basically some of my investments. So that's just this evening. So I just need to make sure that I come back up, I get my work done. I obviously have a shower, finish off my steps. It's like 1 o'clock, I've already done close to 10K. So I've got the whole day to hit my 12, which is going to be pretty straightforward and very, very doable because I always get ahead with them. So in the meantime, I just need to have the glorious job of feeding the cat. What do you say about that? Nothing? Ugh, ungrateful. Come on then, darling. There you go. This is the current work setup. So yeah, it could be a lot worse, guys. I think it's like 30 degrees, which is absolutely mega. But yeah, just gonna crack on with some work here and then go for a little dip in the pool and then get back, have a shower, crack into my next book of work. Guys, I'm having a bit of a mare, to be honest. 1, I forgot my water, which is an absolute rookie error. 2 is that I have no contacts in and I'm wearing my sunnies because obviously it's very, very bright. And from looking at my phone and typing, I'm getting a headache. And 3, my phone is like slowing down, like right down. So it just keeps pausing and freezing because it's overheating. So yeah, this is it's not going too well. I wouldn't say that I've been particularly prepared today, to be honest, but at least I've got some sun. But yeah, now I'm just thinking, you know what, I'm just going to go back up to the room. Can't be dealing with getting this dehydrated, and can't even barely see what's on my phone anyway. So yeah, we're gonna call this one a day here. I think this is a little bit lopsided, but we are back from the pool because that was a little bit of a disaster. However, definitely do feel a little bit more bronze now, which is always, life is just better with a tan, I think. Like, whether it's fake tan, natural sunlight, honestly, the more time you spend in the sun, the better. Which, if you watched the very first vlog that I did when we moved out here, that was a massive reason as to why we actually came out here in the first place. Is simply because whenever there is sunshine, you just immediately feel like your quality of life is so much better. And even if you live in the very sunny UK and Ireland, which I did for so many years of my life, and a lot of my girls do as well, I always will say the more time you can actually spend getting normal, like, you know, actual daylight, the better. I know in the winter months, it's harder when the darker mornings draw in. It's hard. Let's be honest, if you work in an office, you spend so little time in actual daylight, whereas that is such a fundamental thing, I think, for overall health, for one, and also regulating your like sleep and wake cycles as well. So I always say, if you can, then try and get as much sunlight, like, you know, first thing in the morning as possible. That could be by pairing that with activity, which is always why I've been such a big advocate of like a morning walk, because you get your activity and you get steps in and you get sunlight as well. So definitely make that part of your routine if you can. If you are coming into the winter months now in the UK and Ireland, what you could even do is, like, obviously if you can nab like a desk if that's possible, or like have a workspace that's in front of a window, that would work okay, to be honest. Like, that would be preferable than being in like darkness. Just try and make sure you get some sunlight, even if it is like in front of a window. Or you could even get one of them they're called Lumi lights or whatever, you know, the really bright lights that it's not the same thing as normal sunlight, but if you literally cannot get any sunlight, that exposure, bright light first thing in the morning would also be decent, for especially helping with, like, you know, wakefulness and all of that. But anyway, I'm going to cook my meal 4 now, which is sea bream, which supposedly is 0.7 grams of fat, but I call absolute bullshit on that. That is not this. Trust me, when I cook this, that is not 7 grams of fat. So as much as I have sea bass on my diet, and this is technically on paper leaner than sea bass, I do not trust the label, because yeah, like, trust me, I've cooked oily fish for long enough to know that you know, they're trying to finesse me here. Not having any of it. I always do skin side first. Turn the heat up a little bit, get a good crisp on it. Like, guys, come on. Tell me that is less than a gram of fat per 100 grams. Lies and deceit. And here we have it. This is meal number 4. I will do a full day of eating at some point. I think it's been a little while since I've done one. I have 100 grams, or basically just one fillet of sea bream, lean sea bream. And then I have 100 grams of green beans. And then I have 150 grams of sweet potato. And I also had this, with this meal on the side, 50 grams of mango, but not shown, as you can probably tell. We are going to do my supplements for the next couple of weeks. So, as I mentioned, I always do 2 weeks at a time, because it would be such a pain in the ass if I had to open all of these supplement pots like every morning and evening. It would actually do my head in. I think the one thing actually that I am missing, just looking at everything now, because obviously I did have to leave some stuff at home. I think I did pick up everything that I needed over the past day or so on Amazon, but might just be ashwagandha, which I will pick up over the next couple of days. So I usually have 3 sets of supplements through the day. The first set is my fasted supplements, and I have my AM supplements with meal 1, and then I have my PM supplements with my last meal of the day. So I'm going to kind of talk you through like roughly what I am having. I have this little pill box. This is like, in my opinion, the best way of keeping on top of your subs, because I have it so many times where one of my clients will say that they keep forgetting to take them. So if you literally fill these and then keep them out on your like, you know, kitchen tabletop, you're probably not going to forget if you're making your meal 1, or even put them in your like work bag or your meal prep bag that you take to work with you. So that's a way of getting around it. Now, I think with supplementation, like a lot of people will say, oh, I don't need any supplementation. I get enough of what I need through my diet, but there are simply just certain things that we just cannot get enough of, or our diet just won't cover like as much as we may have a really healthy diet and a balanced diet. There are going to be a few things that we would benefit from having more of. So even though we don't necessarily need to over supplement, I do also feel like having a baseline level of supplementation is still quite important. No, oh my God. So you know what? I'm actually going to start with the faster ones. Again, usually I'd actually have ashwagandha in these and PM as well, but I do not have those currently. I'm going to do, I don't even think that this one's open. That was embarrassing. Free is something that I've been utilising since the start of the year. It's basically for hormonal function like LH, FSH, estrogen, progesterone, the hormonal side of things. This is, guys, she just thinks they're treats. Morning, fasted, I'll also have my clan, which obviously is just a recent addition since I've been dieting. And then I'll have these 2. So Nordic oil, which is a properly dosed omega oil. So these, the Trained by JP Omega Pharma Pro, and I think Supplement Needs do like an omega 3 as well. The main thing that you're looking for here is like basically having a really good amount of EPA and DHA, which is like the active ingredients. Some of them are just really underdosed. If you go to Boots and you get like your cheapest fish oils, they're just glorified olive oil in a way. I have a client that can't swallow tablets, so she has the actual oil version you can also get with the Nordic oil ones, and I'll also have some additional krill oil as well. Obviously both of these will help just supplement general health. They have so many benefits, but especially for things like cholesterol, LDL, HDL, these sorts of things. So I always feel like actually a higher dose of these is better. So I do actually take a good bit of these. Usually I'll do like basically double servings. So those are going to go in. I then have curcumin as well, which I will have in the evening. So I pop those into my evening subs. So again, anti-inflammatories, antimicrobial as well. So I will be having those. Zinc picolinate, another addition since I've had all my like sort of thyroid bits and pieces. So this has been an addition for me since then. That is in magnesium biglycinate. So I have this in mainly for the sleep side of things. Magnesium glycinate is really, really good for promoting good quality sleep. So that paired with melatonin. So I do actually take a good bit of melatonin. I do around 10 milligrams per night. I have also done up to 20, and that's daily all year round. Melatonin also has other benefits other than just sleep, like reducing oxidative stress. So I'll do that all year round with the magnesium. So that's like my little like sleep stack. I don't take anything in particular like Dream Sleep or Supreme Sleep or anything like that. I just take these 2. K2, D3, probably not as important for me now that I live here, to be honest. I usually do these every other day. So rather than taking one tablet a day, I do them every other day. Whenever I've had blood work, vitamin D is in a perfect place. So that is literally with me doing every other day. And it's obviously sat at the higher end of the range as well. So I don't need to really take more of that because there's no need for me to be doing it daily if every other day is like kind of serving its purpose. So I'll do those. And then selenium, again, another addition from the thyroid stack, let's put it that way. So selenium, really good for thyroid conversion, for supporting T4 to T3 conversion. So that's selenium, by the way. Probably the worst smelling tablets you will ever smell if you are blessed enough to ever have them in your plan. And then on top of this, I just thought, it's not a supplement, but I just thought I would mention it anyway. I do have iodized salt, again, to help with conversion of thyroid hormone. So that is a really cost-effective addition. You don't need to necessarily supplement with like a pill form. I just have that as my salt, along with low salt as well for a bit of potassium, which helps with like overall hydration and some muscle contraction. Like 4:30, so I've got an hour until my call just to get some work done, but this is what I will do every 2 weeks. It just makes such a big difference to be organised. And again, I do believe supplementation is important. It's not something that I think that you should try and skip on, and I think the quality of certain supplements, i.e. especially like things like fish oil, is actually really important. So that is currently what I'm taking.
It's gonna be interesting, bro.
Yeah, he's definitely not 300 pounds today.
No, it's a different look, bro. It's not
Big
as
Samson. It is Olympia weekend, guys, as you would have literally just seen. So this time last year, we would have been... Would we have been? Yeah, we would have been in Vegas, living the dream, obviously at the Olympia. We were literally saying that we absolutely, we love going to Vegas. Like, Vegas is absolutely amazing, but I think with the trip that we've just had, obviously back to the UK and Ireland, then coming back here, if we'd actually gone out to Vegas again this year, it would have probably just been a little bit too much and probably would have died. But I am literally just going to go in for some legs today. We have pre-workout meal, which is 50 grams of oats, 20 grams of dark chocolate, 100 grams of mixed berries, and 125 grams of yogurt with just a little dash of cinnamon. I've just kind of sprinkled it on the top there, like a little dusting. Weird thing, since I lost my voice, every time I have yogurt, I'll cough, but only when I have yogurt. Otherwise, I don't cough at all. I don't know what it is, but it's really freaking me out because usually that's my like last meal on a rest day, and then I'm just like coughing profusely just because I've had yogurt or anything like, no, it can't even be anything cold because I have cold water. So I don't know what it is about yogurt that just makes me cough, but yeah, very, very strange. But anyway, I'm going to get this down because I'm going to look forward to legs later. This is my first leg day for like a week, except for obviously that little bit of hip thrust that I threw in the other day when I trained upper and obviously rested yesterday. So we've just been watching some of the not actually live stream, we didn't pay for the live stream, but we've been watching some of the YouTube reviews of the live stream. So the little highlights from wellness, definitely just pushing me on a little bit for this glute session. Oh, no. Just wants to be the center of attention, guys. So it just comes in and whacks me with the tail. Oh. What are we doing here? What are we doing? What? What are we doing? I'm trying to eat this. God's sake, no one wants to see your ass. Come on. Come on. Oh my god, she's just like a little... I've probably got like a bunch of cat hairs in this now. No, that's mine. That's my pre-workout. Right, guys, I'm going to have to get this down because she's just... Come on. No. Right, so this is actually my pre-workout, which is the Stim Conte. No. she's actually going to drink that. Stop it. Stop it. You know, actually, a question that I commonly get from a few of my girls, clients, is how long before your training session should you have your pre-workout meal? Now, I always like to set a dedicated pre and post workout, which moves around the day wherever you train, just because then you're in a better position, let's say, with feeling like you're fueling your workout well and you're topping up things like your glycogen stores and everything that you basically need from a nutritious meal after your session is finished as well. So you're fueling around the workout window a lot better. But in terms of your pre-workout meal, let's cover post-workout meal as well. So pre-workout meal, I think that could look from anywhere between 40 minutes to 90 minutes. I think pre is a sweet spot. Now, some people like a little bit closer, some people prefer a little bit further away. It's what, like 10:30 at the moment. I'll be training by 11:30. So I do like mine an hour before, like 60 minutes before I start my session. Nice little time beforehand just to allow that meal to digest a bit better. And then you feel like you're going into your meal sort of having eaten, so not like totally empty, but then also not having like that feeling like it's just sat in your stomach, because that's not a good feeling, trust me. I think if you were eating a lot of food and you were in a building phase setting, you might want to leave it a little bit longer. There have certainly been times where I've left mine a little bit longer, maybe 90 minutes, even up to like 2 hours before. However, usually that sweet spot is going to be like an hour and a half to an hour. And then post-workout, you can get that in as soon as your heart rate just comes back down, which shouldn't take long, to be fair, but then you're pretty much good to go with getting that post-workout in. Probably wouldn't try and leave it too long, like after training. It's not like that anabolic window is the be-all and end-all, like you have to get your food in immediately, like 30 minutes after, otherwise your session counts for nothing. It's not like that, but I do think it's beneficial to be getting your post-workout meal in just to get those glycogen stores refueled and actually have that meal in, so you've got some protein, like a protein feeding as well for recovery, and also just to make sure that you have a regular eating pattern and regular eating times maintained throughout the day. So I usually just get mine in when we get back. So me and Mark will usually finish our training at the same time, and then we'll get a taxi back to the apartment and we'll actually eat here. If it was going to take us longer, I would consider bringing my post-workout meal with me to have at the gym, which is something that I've frequently done in the past. You would have seen that in previous videos when I've trained at Rotherham, that I always used to bring my post-workout with me, because usually I'd be waiting for him whilst he trained with Kuba, for example, because obviously when there's two of them, it takes longer. I was usually done it before them, so I didn't want to wait around just to wait until wait to have my post-workout meal. So I'd always used to bring that with me. So yeah, like that is timing wise, like what I feel like it works best for pre and post workout. It's going to vary a little bit from person to person, but okay, again, sweet spot pre-workout between 40 to 90 minutes. Post-workout, as soon as your heart rate sort of drops off, wouldn't leave it necessarily all that much longer than like an hour and a half after. Would try and make sure that post-workout meal goes in before that. So yeah, that is my 2 cents on that. I'm going to go and train some legs. Luckily, the cat has not drank my pre-workout, having these a little bit earlier at the moment, just to keep that caffeine a little bit further away from my session. But to be honest, that doesn't look too great. It looks a little bit like swamp water legs now, because I cannot wait to get some blood and carbs into these legs. They need a little bit of life in them again. Now, actually, one more little update for today. I actually dropped into the 63, so 63.8 this morning, so that's a new low for me, which is fabulous. I'm honestly so buzzing with that. And this week as well, to be honest, I've done no cardio this week. We've pulled cardio out this week because I'm on a deload week, so we've just pulled that out the whole week, just steps, food, and that's really it. Just trying to catch up on some sleep and recovery. I will take my check-in pictures tomorrow, so maybe I will put those up potentially, now that this will be my first check-in back in the UAE. And I do like this check-in spot here as well. So much better than my one at home. If you know, whenever you change your check-in spot, it's just there like, oh my God, this is terrible. But I'm looking forward to checking in here again, just being that little bit leaner too. So off to get some legs, and I will update you soon. I literally just started editing that video there and I was like, whoa, this is already like 30 minutes long. So I am going to outro this now. But guys, I appreciate you watching as always. I feel like this was definitely a bit more of a boring one, but at the same time, this is just a normal day in the life. It's not going to be exciting every day. Like I know that the past couple of weeks back in the UK, there's been a lot going on, meeting clients, meals, etc. But right now, literally just getting back into routine. Work, training, watching the Olympia, which by the way, I do want to do a little bit of an overview on, because Maureen has one bikini, which was absolutely like, oh, I'm a Maureen fangirl through and through. So glad that she's setting the standard for bikini again this coming year. And I definitely want to share my thoughts, but I'm not going to do it in this video because it's just going to be outrageous. But I do hope that you enjoy watching my fairly mundane day in the life. Like I said, guys, this is just reality. It's not going to be all like these different things to do every single day, but hope you enjoyed it anyways. Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate you all. If you did enjoy it, please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one.